Hey, let me see. Let me see. Hey, beautiful girl. Hey, beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. You are a beautiful girl. She's so pretty. Here, look. Look. Oh, hello. Beautiful. You know you're a beautiful girl? You're a beautiful, good girl, Guinevere. You're a good girl. I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. You're a good girl. She is a good girl. She's my little baby. Okay. So yeah, chair yoga tonight. Our hello and welcome time of our yoga class. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be doing chair yoga, which sounds like it's my first impression of chair yoga. When I heard about it, I'm like, chair yoga? What the heck? No way I'm not going to do chair yoga. But there's a lot of stuff we can do, and I think it's good. I think it'll be really good to like get some stretches, some really good stretches that you can do even when you're sitting in a chair. If you have a chair, the one that I'm using is just from my dining room table, which you might recognize if you have seen like IKEA stuff. So the table that I got is from IKEA. So you're in your chair, there you go. And I would say most everyone has some sort of chair, maybe a dining room chair, or if you have a chair with arms, it might make it more difficult in some of the poses that we're doing. In that case, you may want to stand up, or you can just, modify in some other way, because there will be a time where we'll be moving to like the side, but you can modify. There's all sorts of things you can do. Okay, so let's get into hopefully this will work, our asanas. Asana is the physical postures of yoga. Is just pretend you have a light here and you're moving that light in a circle like you're stirring a pot, like this way. So we can just actually start. Let this be our warm-up together. And we just deep inhale as we send the heart forward, this little light here in our solar plexus, just kind of at the base of the sternum, between the sternum and the navel. We're just circling that around. Deep breath. Maybe as you move forward, exhaling round. Yeah, we're just going to warm this up, warm our bodies up. And then we're going to take it the other way. Maybe start as a small circle, little tiny, like you're doing a spiral, and you're just making those spirals a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. We're going to start to think of our intention for our practice as we do this. And just also be aware of like how our body feels, knowing that we're kind of doing like mini cat and cow pose here. I'm just sitting on the edge of my chair, so I can feel my sits bones pressing down into the chair here. Yeah, we just take our time, our intention, and we take that awareness there, and then relief. For this pose, this next pose, it's the cat-cow stretch. We were already like warming up the body, like doing circles here, but we're gonna get into the like more exaggerated. I'll turn to the side. You can stay forward if you want. And so when we were doing the circles, we weren't doing real big movements here. But as we get into this cat-cow, you can start to take a little bit larger movements here. Start to cat-cow our spines. So this is a bigger movement than just the small circles that we were doing. Really sending the shoulders back and down as we open the heart forward, kind of pretending as if you have a small apple or orange between the chin and the chest. If you have neck issues, and then if you don't have neck issues and you're good with your neck, then you can take the crown of the head to where it starts to point a little bit backward. The chin is pointing up, the gaze is up, kind of up at this angle toward the ceiling. Exhale, round the spine. And feel free to take some, like, you don't have to just sync this with your breath if you don't want. Feel free to round the spine here. As you exhale, take a breath. Fill the back of the ribs. Fill the space between the shoulder blades and the ribs themselves. Maybe dip the chin down, exhale out. Squeeze all the air out. And then moving in to cow pose. You imagine we're on our hands and knees on the floor and we were kind of like, this way. So this is cow where the belly's sinking down toward the floor, except we're sitting up, so it's just forward. There's an arch in the back. Feel your shoulder blades. Use gravity here. Feel them sinking back and down. And then on your next exhale, round. You feel free to use your hands on your knees here. Now, I'm facing to the side, but feel free to face forward. If you want to grab the back of the chair to help you squeeze the shoulder blades together even more, that's fine too. Lasered FN, snack up my pet, thank you. There you are. So let's take a few more cat-cows. Go ahead and just, if you want to sync them with your breath, go ahead. If you want to just hold it for a moment and take breaths here, this feels really good, like holding the back of the chair. So wherever you're at in your cat-cow, seated cat-cow, find a neutral spine on the next exhale. We're going to take our hands down by our sides, again, kind of on maybe the edge of your chair or at least somewhere on your chair that you feel that you can be super grounded. So my feet don't quite come to the floor when I sit back. You can't really see it from the side, so from the front. So I'll turn to the side. So you can see here, my feet aren't quite long enough. That's why I have these blocks. So if you want to sit back on the chair and your feet come to the floor when you're back, that's fine. Oh, this feels much better. So if you're able to feel your feet grounded on the floor, sitting back on the chair, you want to feel your sits bones pressing into your chair. You'll have your arms down by your sides and inhaling them up. So upper arms by ears. Taking some deep breaths. Reach the fingertips up. Let the shoulders come up toward the ears, but as you do, keep your gaze forward. On your next exhale, release down. Inhale the shoulders up. Imagine your ribs are kind of expanding away from one another as you inhale deeply and exhale, sending the shoulders back down. One more time here, lifting those shoulders up toward the ears. Deep inhale and exhale, release the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing them. Send hands down by the sides. Nice. I'm going to face forward here, but I'm going to keep the blocks because the blocks really help me here to keep my feet on something stable so my legs aren't dangling. Inhale our arms up. We're going to interlace fingers, press the palms up to the sky and feel the different muscles that are stretched. Maybe the triceps get stretched. We're going to exhale the hands down. Have your fingers interlaced and then switch which thumb is on top. And then we're going to take it back up. Feels weird, feels different. We're going to start to take this from side to side. You can stay on one side if that feels really nice and good, especially when you inhale and stretch. We're going to take it to the other side. Yeah, when we squeeze our scapula together, the muscles between on either side of the spine right there, and we feel tightness. Like if we reach back and reach for our chair again, we're pressing the shoulder blades into the rhomboids. There's a little bit of stretch in the traps as well. Deltoids here. Yeah. Delts. Your rear delt back here. Rolling shoulders. All right, inhale the arms up. And it's okay here because each of our bodies are different. There's a bone here that might stick out further on yours in the shoulder here. As you lift your arm, that your arm will hit. So some people can lift their arms here, fine. Some people can go back further. And to get around that, you have to move your arms out and back. If you want to go back further, and then you start to get stretching in the pecs. So it's okay if your arms, everybody's bodies are different, so it's okay wherever your arms feel best. You don't want to like force it. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. This is just how your body is. And from here, we're going to exhale and forward fold. You can let your head hang here. I'm going to turn to the side again. And then you can also see like how far I'm bending over. I feel a stretch in like the muscles like at the bottom of the shoulder blades underneath. Oh, and it feels really good. And even in that, there's a muscle right here. It's right next to so we have our cape. I can usually, latissimus dorsi, right? We have our latissimus dorsi here. And it's like, my yoga guru calls it the Batman cape, calls it our cape. But it kind of draws up into a cord here almost at the bottom of the shoulder, and that can get really, really tight. So this really helps with imagining that muscle lengthening, releasing, even the fascia around our muscles. Our muscles have nerve endings, but our fascia has 10 times the amount of nerve endings in them. And so what could be stopping us from becoming more flexible might not be muscle, it might be the fascia itself. When we feel like that tightness, or it's like, oh, my muscle won't go any further, it could be that it's the fascia. All right, lifting the heart up just a little bit so that we come up with a flat back. You can walk your hands up the body just a little bit. Then we're going to place the left hand down between the feet or on the floor and inhale the right arm up. On your next exhale, we're going to bring the right hand down, replace the hand that's on the floor, and lift the left arm up. I'm going to turn so I can be facing you, but you can stay where you're at if you like. So here we are. All right, we're going to exhale that hand down. Inhale, walk the hands up. All right, we're going to plant the left foot down, right ankle comes on the left knee. You might already start to feel this kind of on that right hip, like around the sits bones, the right sit bone. And then we want this right foot to be flexed forward. So not letting this foot just relax and dangle, but really point those toes forward. With a flat back, we're going to start to hinge at the hips and bring the heart forward. It can be an inch, 10 centimeters, just a little bit by little bit until you start to feel stretching in that right hip on the muscles that are kind of touching that chair. You want to feel your sits bones, which are the bottom of the pelvis, our ischium, right? So the bottom of our pelvis, we have these two bones that protrude down. We want to feel that bone in contact with the chair. And from the pelvis, from the hips, we want to hinge forward. and not going too much where we start to make a face. Because if we start to make a face, that's the body telling us, hey, easy. As the muscles, fascia starts to release, maybe you can take the heart forward just a little bit more. Continuing to take deep breaths. So imagine we have this gauge or a meter here. As we take the breath, we imagine it filling up. As we exhale, all the way out, exhaling the air, even at the bottom of the lungs, inhaling. And you might imagine your gauge like filling up from here down, or however, it's fine. Just having a visual, it's nice, because then when we start to talking about counting the breaths, you can imagine, okay, well, I know what 50% feels like. And if we're doing like 8 counts, then you know, okay, when I get to 4, I want it to feel 50% at the 4 count. Just kind of getting that awareness of the breath involved here. Backing off the heart, placing the shoulders over the hips, uncrossing that right knee, leg, placing the left ankle on top of the right knee. All right, hinging at the hips here, maybe making sure to keep that left ankle flexed and the toes forward. And this helps to protect our knee. Hello, Benjamin. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. I'm breathing through this, still imagining that full breath, inhaling and exhaling. Oh my goodness, feeling this in the left hip for sure. And in the joint itself. Could be a little bit of compression going on. Inner thigh. Stretching. And sending the heart over the hips, uncrossing the leg, planting the feet on the floor. All right, we're gonna move on to eagle pose seated. We did eagle pose standing yesterday, which was a lot of fun. All right, we're gonna cross the right leg over the left leg. If crossing your leg over like this isn't available, you're also welcome to kind of keep it like we had before with our kind of figure 4 here. Or you can keep your legs just on the floor and the feet flat on the floor. I'm going to cross over, having my eagle legs here. And we're going to have left arm forward like you're shaking someone's hand. Right arm hooks underneath. You can either hold your shoulders like you're giving yourself a hug, or you can point the fingers up to the sky and begin to interlace. You see my bracelets that I'm wearing today? These are little hair pullers, arm hair pullers. So what we see here is the left elbow is on the inside crook of the right elbow. And that left forearm is in front of the right hand, and the left fingertips are up and over the right fingertips. And then you can hook just fold those fingers down, kind of like the left fingers are hovering over, covering the right fingers. From here, we're going to shift the elbows up if you've got your forearms interlaced. And then you can start to feel the stretch in the muscles of the shoulder girdle, like at the base here. Feels good. If you want, you can take that bottom foot and wrap it around the left foot. So the right foot and ankle wraps around the left ankle or calf. And so we are in seated eagle. If the shoulders get tired, you can bring the elbows down. You can hug the body, or you can bring the arms down completely. Just remembering to take some deep breaths here as well. Nice, straight, tall spine, pressing the sits bones into the floor. One last deep breath here in this pose and releasing down. Oh. So we're going to take this to the other side, remembering the modifications that you could do for this other side. And whatever leg is on top, you're going to take the opposite arm, reach it across, and then hook under our left elbow. So if you're on the same side as me, left elbow is on bottom, either hugging the self, the shoulders, placing palms on the shoulders, fingertips up toward the sky, and then you're going to start to wrap the right forearm in front of the left forearm or wrist. And then kind of clap here. The left fingertips are on the right palm, right fingertips are up and well above the other fingers, and then we'll just fold them down. Hey, Kyle, what's up? Thank you so much. You are so amazing. Breathing nice and deep here. You can start to feel your elbows reaching up, maybe becoming level with the shoulders if that feels safe for you. Maybe wrapping that bottom left ankle around that right lower leg. If arms get tired, you're welcome to bring the palms to the shoulders like I'm doing. Releasing hands, unwrapping the feet and legs. And we're going to go into a sequence here. This is where I had mentioned if you had arms on your chair, you may need to modify in a different way, or you're welcome to just stand up and do them from standing. If you'd like to start to do these poses, because it's going to be a sequence of like warrior, and basically it. You can do that from standing, or you can actually do the poses if you have the arms on the chair. Otherwise, you can just do the hands, the arms only, the arms and hands. All right, we're going to take it over. For here, I'm going to turn the shoulders kind of like toward the back. So notice I'm facing the side of the chair. You can do this standing if you have arms on your chair, and you're going to turn your shoulders toward the back of the chair. I'm going to turn it toward the front so I don't face away from you. And you're going to hold onto the chair and give a gentle twist. We're not like putting a lot of torque on our bodies here. I'm going to hold the bottom of my chair here. But you're welcome to like grab like this way. You can have the elbows out to the sides. That kind of helps get into a different mode, but I'm going to face you here so that we're not faced away from each other. Feel both sits bones. See if you can get them to stay evenly on the chair. So you may have to press more into your right hip as you turn the shoulders toward the left. Twists are amazing for digestion. All right, facing the spine forward. So facing over to the left, you may need to come to the edge of the seat where the right sits bones is off of the chair, and then step back. And we're going to move into our warrior. So seated warrior. This is kind of cool, isn't it? Seated warrior. I'll scoot the chair back so you can see the feet. And I kind of have to use these blocks, otherwise my feet, they just don't. They don't touch the ground. This chair is a little bit too tall for me. Let's see, where do I need to place it? Way back there. Okay. Oh, that doesn't feel quite right either. There we go. Yeah. You may not have to use blocks like I do because your legs might be longer than mine, and that's cool. So here we are in our warrior. So warrior one, we want our hips more even with the front of the mat. We're going to inhale the arms forward and up. So we're in our warrior pose here. Shoulders are squared with the front of the mat. The hips are squared with the front of the mat. So that may mean that your feet are more like on railroad tracks here. They're not like in one line. Back block is not working for me. I'm going to just place my foot on the floor. We're going to exhale the hands to parallel to the floor, and notice here the hips are going to turn out. So you may need to adjust where that back foot is, so that the feet may become a little bit like in this one line, yet still offset. Because we're in a chair, things work a little bit differently here in chair yoga. So in Warrior 2, and take your gaze for a few breaths and look at your fingertips. You can look at any of them. They're beautiful, beautiful fingertips. It is way too much. I'm like, heck no. I'm like, no. We're going to send the back arm toward the back leg, lift the front arm up to the sky. So you notice, like, we've done this in our regular vinyasa flow classes, in our regular yoga classes where we're not using a chair, but you still like get this same like stretch in the body. It's so amazing. And you have the stability of the chair where you're pressing your sits bones down into the chair. It's just awesome. I know, it's like amazing. I actually love it. I'm going to teach chair yoga next week too on Tuesday. And we're going to exhale the hands back through parallel, placing the front forearm on the front thigh and reach up and over. And John Deeds, how are you? Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, look at all the emotes. And exhale, arms back to parallel, hands to heart center. What a beautiful like sequence and flow that was. We're gonna heel toe that back foot forward, and then we're gonna take it to the other side. All right. Maybe I can kind of demo this one from the side, and that way I don't have to face away from you. So you'll just go to the other side of your chair. Oh, sweet. Okay, yay, yay. So I can show you. Okay. I need my blocks because my feet don't come to the ground all the way. So this really helps me. Feel free to use blocks if you want, books, or maybe your legs are long enough. And then we're going to take our hands. Now I can actually do it the correct way and grasp the back of the chair. And we're not like putting a lot of torque or pressure here, or we're not wrenching the back around. We're using the breath, filling the ribs, and then exhale, twisting into it, using that exhale. You need like 4 of those. Inhale here, exhale. 4 of the blocks. Another deep breath. So the breath expands and massages the ribs and all the organs here. As we inhale the breath, it puts pressure on the major organs of the digestive system. And as we exhale, maybe we can twist a little bit further, but not forcing it. It's just allowing the state of allowing this to happen. And then on your next exhale, we release the hands, come forward, shake it out. Okay, here we are. So coming out, like bringing the right hip off of the chair just a little bit. Left hip is nice and anchored on the chair. Am I saying the right one? No, the right hip, I'm sorry, the right hip is on the chair, the left hip is off, or the opposite of whatever you did last time. Thank you so much again for the cheers, the love, the cheers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're going to start to heel toe or step the left foot back. My front foot is on a block. My left foot, I tried to put the back foot on a block and it didn't quite work. I like this angle because you can see the feet are not, like when we stand, our feet would be maybe behind. If your body allows for this and it feels good, great. However, we're going to be doing Warrior 1 first. In Warrior 1, our feet are more like on railroad tracks. And I inhale those arms forward and up. Shoulders are relaxed. So we're in Warrior 1. The hips are square with the front. If you can imagine each of the hip joints being even with each other here. They're not like offset one direction or the other. They're just even. Yeah. You're doing good. Just taking your awareness to your shoulders and your hips. Hey, I love the emotes coming across the screen. All right. And then as we transition to Warrior 2, then you can, if it feels comfortable for you, to walk that back heel so that it's in one line with the front heel. Yeah. And then we can be in our Warrior 2 and notice the hips are more kind of like at this 45-degree angle this way. Whether they turn from, if I had lights pointing out the sides of my hips, the lights would be pointed out like this direction. Where we, as in Warrior 1, they would have been pointed out more to the sides of me, okay? Just trying to give some. Here in our Warrior 2, we want to get our gaze involved in the pose. So for just a moment, take your gaze to your fingernails, maybe your middle fingernail. Deep breath and exhaling. We're going to take the back hand, place it on the back leg, reach those front right fingertips up to the sky, reverse warrior. Another deep breath here, and then sending the arms through parallel, placing the front forearm on the front thigh, reaching up and over. I'm actually really enjoying this chair yoga. My goodness. You guys are great. All right. And bringing our arms back and down. We're going to heel toe the feet forward, back to the front of our chair. I'll turn my chair so that I'm facing you. Place my blocks on the floor in front of me. I'm going to sit forward on my chair so that my sits bones feel really nice and grounded, not just kind of like back in the chair. You can if you want, because we're about to go in Shavasana. So if this feels good for you and you feel like you can completely relax, then that's cool. If not, feel free to sit nice and tall. Let the shoulders roll back and down. Closing the eyes, placing the hands on the knees or with palms up in a mudra symbolizing receiving. So we're going to receive whatever it is, whatever blessing comes our way, right? Receiving. And closing the eyes, taking a few breaths, thinking of breaths and thinking of your intention. Following the breath, relaxing the jaw, scanning the body. Taking a deep breath. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Roll shoulders. Bring hands to heart center. Thank you for your practice today. I hope you enjoyed this chair yoga as much as I did. Thought it was neat to explore the postures, explore ourselves, and relearn things about ourselves that we didn't know before. Thank you so much. The divine light and grace that is in me recognizes and is so grateful for the divine light and grace that is in you. Namaste.